Hello and welcome to Arlington Community Media's presentation of Arlington Patriots Day Parade 2018. We're coming at you live from Town Hall. I'm Brenda Mahoney.
And I'm Jack Hurd.
And we're going to be showing you a great parade today. Not such great weather, Jack.
That's right. They were kind enough to put us indoors. We appreciate
right.
that.
We were ready for outdoors, but
that's right.
We've been indoors. So hopefully either you are watching the parade live outdoors as well, or you're watching it through our cable cast right now. And this year's parade, I had a year off last year, Jack, but it was a lot warmer last year.
It was hot, actually.
But this year, really exciting because we do have the Shriners back. And who can't love a clown and
right.
Small cars going around, even on, weather such as this, with weather such as this. But really what it is, Jack, is we're coming together as a community. This is our time to come together as a community and celebrate Arlington, then Minutemen, its role in Patriots Day. And fighting for our independence from America, April 19th, 1775.
That's correct, and it's always our signature event here in town that, we have a large parade and large presence. Hopefully, some people will venture out into the cold, if not watch it on TV, but it's always a great event, particularly for the kids.
That's right. And it was in 1775 that the Battle of Concord and Lexington, but then as the British were retreating, regiments, local militiamen from all over the towns came here, and there was fighting as British were retreating back to Boston. And it ended up being the deadliest battle of that day at the Jason Russell House. 11 American lives lost and 2 British.
That's correct, and it's always identified as the bloodiest fight of that time, and we sometimes get a little anxious because we don't get recognized here in Arlington like maybe Lexington and Concord, but quite a bit of that activity took place right here.
Right, I believe that was the only deaths of the British that day was actually in Arlington. I may be wrong on that, but I believe that's the case in what I've read. So. All right, so we're going to be warming up, and we're going to be having a parade, a great parade for you today. We've got some Grand Marshals that we have, 2 Grand Marshals, the co-founders of the Leatherneck Honor Society, are going to be in the parade this year. And the Leatherneck Honor Society came about more than a decade ago with the changes in U.S. code governing the internment of our nation's veterans. So this group of Organization of Marines and Corpsmen have earned the right to wear the emblem of the Marine Corps Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. And they make sure that all veterans are interred with dignity and full honors.
That's great. That's great to have them recognized today.
And we also can, we'll be waiting for, first up will be the national anthem with Jack Flood, who I was just speaking with, but you called him a legend.
Well,
John Flood, rather.
He's worn many hats in Arlington. Him and I actually worked for Polaroid Corporation way back and had a great career there, and we both came to work here in town. So the parade procession will arrive at Mill Street. It will be held until signaled by the Arlington Police Department to start. At Town Hall, John Flood will kick off the parade with the national anthem, and he sings at many different town events during veterans parades and other activities. He's quite a singer, actually.
He is. And we'll also be holding a moment of silence because it was 5 years ago today that the marathon bombings during Marathon did go off, and the victims and subsequent victims, including right there that day, Crystal Campbell, who lived and worked in Arlington. So we will have a special moment of silence memorializing them.
Yes, we're also going to honor the police officer from Yarmouth who has recently lost his life in a gun battle just a few days ago. And,
he was a K-9 officer, and I believe I happened to be at the I always confuse it, but the St. Patrick's Day parade in Yarmouth, and I realized that he was in that parade, stopped right in front of us, showed off the dogs, and, it's it's a horrible thing. And the K-9s, Officer Hogan is a K-9 officer in our
Right.
town.
Sure.
And it's a very tight-knit group. You know, I mean, we had a huge memorial service just for Dosty himself.
Right,
So this will be some real honors that are due.
That's
to
right. The first thing I
Officer
thought of when I heard about the tragedy was Mike Hogan.
Bannon. Yeah,
So
yeah. He lost a brother. And
it's a family.
okay, well, it's going to be kicking off from Brattle Square at 2 o'clock. So, of course, it takes a little while to get here to in front of Town Hall. So I believe we have a video to show you, though, in the interim of some past parades, just a compilation of some past Patriots Day parades.
Sure. Great.
Oh, well, that was a great look back at some of those older pictures there, Jack. And, you know, another thing that is hopefully you got to see is we have the reenactment again, the Battle of Menominee, right at Jason Russell House. And the Arlington, the Minutemen have helped to get that off, along with other contingents who play the roles of the British and so forth. And it's amazing. It really is, just to see and feel what it would have been like.
Right, right. And when they enact it, it's very, very real. It seems as though and again, it's important, I think, for the younger children to see, you know, things that happen in history here in Arlington, and they do a great job, the people that participate.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So later this week, we'll be showing the reenactment that we videotaped ACMi did a couple of years ago, and it was a nice sunny day then. So we'll be showing that one. But kudos to everyone to getting that off and running this year as well.
It's also great that there's been some recent and some future updates to the Jason Russell House. You know,
That's
it's
right.
again one of our treasures here in town that we enjoy and we preserve for hundreds of years and more to come. So that was great news to hear that preservation will continue.
Right, right. And was that Preservation Act money? Do you recall?
Yeah, I think it
believe
was.
So that was CPA money, and the house is actually from 1740. And they recently found out that the timbers inside are built from even older wood than that. So to have that still standing
Right.
here in Arlington is a treasure that we need to hold on to, and especially where it's amazing that those bullet holes
I
from
agree.
1775 are still in there. We won't be covering those up. They won't be
Right,
covering
right.
those up.
Which is it's the most exciting part of the tour, I think, when kids see the bullet holes.
Yeah, you can
So
really
it's-
see history. We also have some sponsors this year that the diamond sponsor being Leader Bank, and platinum sponsors being Belmont Orthodontics, Davidson Management, John's Landscaping Service. Gold sponsors being Armstrong Ambulance, Bose Pinnell, and Thompson Real Estate, the family of Joan Caterino in her loving memory, and the Knights of Columbus and the Quinn Group Insurance Agency.
Right. Also, our silver sponsors, the American Alarm, the American Legion Post 39, Cambridge Savings Bank. You hear a lot of the same names: Caldwell Banker, DeVito Funeral Home, Cavalis Insurance Agency, Keefe Funeral Home, Mystic Wine Shop, Rogers and Hutchins Funeral Home, and Watertown Savings Bank. And we seem to hear a lot of the same names year after year that participate in the many events we have, and we appreciate that.
That's right. And it wouldn't be a parade without these sponsors, because there's just a small portion of town funds that actually go towards
Right.
all memorial events, all civic events such as the Memorial Day service, the Veteran service, and then Arlington Patriots Day parade being one of them. So
Right.
the town relies on sponsors and donations.
And it's greatly appreciated. It otherwise wouldn't happen to the extent that it does without that.
That's right, and enough money this year to have the Aleppo Shriners back, which
Right.
really makes things exciting because they bring a lot of different units, clown unit, truck unit, all of the music.
All the fun.
So, yeah, well, any word on where the parade may be at this point? Any spotters out there that can tell us?
I think we may have to send out the police to investigate
Right.
where they are. But I'm sure they'll be here soon.
Okay,
Maybe a cold start.
right, right. Well, you know, it's a lot of civic groups come and be a part of the parade. Girl Scouts, seniors, different organizations, and then of course state and local officials. Yeah, so we have a shot right now of balloons being sold, but in the distance you can also see that the escort division, and that's the parade procession with the different police and fire engines from Arlington and surrounding towns, are leading off the parade.
Sure, it looks, if I can see the monitor correctly, it looks like they're somewhere around the high school.
Yeah.
So they should be here in a few minutes.
That's great.
I would think they might be walking faster in the cold and slower.
Well, sometimes you
see.
get a little bit.
Sure.
Oh, so we were talking about the 2016 reenactment, and we're going to have, we'll show you a little bit of that in just a moment. So you can, if you've missed it, you can see really what the Minutemen and others are undertaking and really getting off in that reenactment
Right.
happening each year now at 12 on this very day.
Excellent.
Okay. So we'll wait for that to roll. Okay, we're going to be going to Joe Curo, who, of course, just was recently reelected to the Board of Selectmen, and he is emceeing the event out there while we MC it for viewers
Yeah.
in here. And he will be leading off with a little introduction, moment of silence, and national anthem in just a few moments.
So my
Waiting is always the hardest part, but you know, last year I missed the Arlington Patriots Day Parade hosting it, but I was actually able to get to it and reach it in time from coming back from wedding anniversary celebration, and at the east end of Arlington. I had never seen it from that viewpoint before. I've seen it from the Heights, I've seen it from here,
Sure.
and there's lots of folks that come towards the end at Walgreens, and
Oh, yes.
and by the VFW, I had a chance to run into Tony Barry of the Tony Barry Band, 96 years old at the time, and is standing with his a walker, and his band, who he's helped establish in the 1950s, actually saluted him and serenaded him, rather. And he's
Nice
just a
tribute.
wonderful,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, and he comes to the Arlington Patriots Day Parade every day. I hadn't had a chance to follow up with. He's still
Yes,
coming this
yeah.
year, and
I'm sure he is, if he's
healthy
able.
and able.
Yeah.
But if you're out by the VFW, look for Tony Barry.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have the escort division coming up.
Here they are. It's like just about in front of the high school.
Yeah. The police honor guard will be following behind. It just really signals the beginning of the parade, and just gives an intensity to it.
Sure. Once you hear the sirens.
Yeah. Makes you feel something.
Yeah.
This is important. We're all in this together, part of a community, and celebrating our heritage and celebrating our current times, you know, together. You might see
Sure.
an old neighbor. You might see someone that your child, that, you know, the parent goes to that their parents and child go to
Sure.
school together. So you may see someone you haven't seen in a while.
That's right.
Some of the folks are coming back from Florida,
Right.
who are longtime residents perhaps, and
saw
they
a
may have
few-
come back a little early
I know.
weather-wise.
Saw a few tans recently. It sort of makes you a little bit jealous. I think the opportunity to get out of town is always welcome, right? I think I'm ready right about now myself. But the switch to Sunday was about 5 years ago, was it?
Yeah, at least.
And,
Hello, Arlington.
it seems to have worked out much better in terms of people's ability to participate.
Hello, Arlington.
Okay, and here we have Joe Kiro starting off the parade from Town Hall. We'll listen in.
Hello, Arlington. Happy Patriots Day. Before we begin our parade, I would like to introduce to you John Flood, who will begin with the national anthem. We'd ask if you could stand if you were able and remove your caps. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Before we begin our festivities, I would also like to ask that we please remember that today is the 5th anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombing. And amongst the victims was one of Arlington's own, Crystal Campbell. We also hold in our minds and our thoughts today the family and friends of Yarmouth police officer Sean Gannon, who recently lost his life in the line of duty. I would just ask for a brief moment of silence, please, in remembrance of these individuals. Thank you very much. And with that, let the 2018 Patriots Day Parade begin.
Okay, so we just heard an introduction from Selectman Joe Kiro and a moment of silence in honor of the marathon bombing
Welcome to a
victims
lovely spring
5 years ago, and as well as Officer Gannon from the Yarmouth K-9, Officer Sean Gannon. So with that, we're kicking off the Patriots Day Parade 2018. Should be arriving just before our cameras here in front of Town Hall, and starting with the Escort Division and Police Honor Guard.
Is to promote, preserve, and deliver quality. Today's parade is lined by Arlington police officers as well as officers from other surrounding communities.
to ensure a safe parade for all. I'd like to thank these officers for their service to our community, not only today, but every day. Lining the route is the Arlington Fire Department. They're collecting fill the boot for muscular dystrophy.
So here we have
Here we go.
emergency management.
Leading off the escort division is Arlington's Auxiliary Fire Department, part of the emergency management agency of the town. It's all a volunteer group, and this is the lighting truck that provides service to fires, floods, and everything else. Arlington Police Honor Guard. Please rise for passing.
Okay, so we have the Police Honor Guard in the back, as well as Arlington Fire Department with their Fill the Boot campaign.
Yeah, the official kickoff when you hear the fire department.
And that's the Arlington Police Honor Guard
That's the
going
police
by.
honor guard. The mission of the Arlington Police Department is to promote, preserve, and deliver quality services and to ensure the safety of all members of our community. This mission is a commitment to quality performance from all members. It provides the foundation upon which all operation decisions and organizations directive are based.
And we also have that new Arlington ladder tower coming by with a Dalmatian dog, the mascot, I guess, of this new ladder tower. And this is something that the just rolled into town in early April. So we'll be learning more about what the ladder tower can do, and they've been training with it. So that's another asset to the community of Arlington.
That ladder tower, by the way, required a lot of research by the fire department in terms of the needs, and they actually built the Highland Fire Station, I believe, to accommodate that.
Right, with that in mind. And of course, now going back, we have Eureka. One of the original fire apparatus that was horse-drawn. It was first introduced in 1851. And that now sits in the Central Fire Station after it was redone. They made sure they had a little spot for it, so you can always go and see that originally horse-drawn engine, first introduced in 1851.
Wow. Back in the day, there used to, when I was younger, I remember there were competitions utilizing some of the old apparatus. I guess it was the distance or pressure that could fire the water, and it was actually fun watching that.
That's right. Well, I think they will be having a Pull the Truck campaign in honor of on April 28th, the fire department, in order to raise funds for some cause that I unfortunately cannot recall right now. But so something similar along those lines, Pull the Truck.
We also thank some of our neighboring communities that are also participating in our
Right,
parade.
Somerville, it looks like there. And handing out candy. My daughter, of course, was asking, she's 6, will they be throwing candy? I said, possibly at this parade.
It's very important.
Middlesex Sheriff's Department by Sheriff Peter Contusion is here today with the Sheriff's Office and the support vehicle. After spending
It is a family event and gets to showcase what different organizations and associations and departments here in town. And there, that seems to be the State Police
Yes,
Honor Guard.
great to have them here with us.
are responsible for the well-being of approximately 1,400 individuals housed within their facilities.
All right, so there's a little space in between the beginning of the parade and
Right.
waiting for the next people to come through. I believe we have the Grand Marshals will be coming up next with
Okay.
some segways and floats and marchers and trolley. So, Jack, how long have you lived in Arlington?
Oh, about 60 years.
So how many times have I'm not even sure the exact date of when this parade began, but it was sometime in the 1800s.
Yeah, I can always remember coming to the Patriots Day Parade. It was, like I was saying earlier, it was the kind of the signature event in town, and a lot going on, back in the day, and it's great that it's continued.
Yes, yeah, holding on to those traditions, but changing through the years. As you said, it used to be held on the actual Patriots Day.
Right.
And, a lot of people work on that day.
Right.
So here we are on Sunday, and the turnout years past has been good. I think that the weather is keeping some folks at home this year. Do you remember the one year where we had Patriots Day, the parade? I think it was completely rained out, and they actually moved it, or maybe it was due to funds that it was moved into May. Anyway, It was in May. Everyone enjoyed it in May. Wish we could have it all the time in May, but it wouldn't honor Patriots Day. And, I was wondering what the weather was like April 19th, 1775. And so I had my husband look that up a little bit earlier today, and it was supposedly crisp and clear, about 45 degrees.
Wow.
But it had been raining before that. So
Right.
then they got a crisp and clear day.
Now, last year, when you took the year off, it was very hot.
Yeah, it
And
did
if
get
I
warm.
remember, and we were sort of baking out front here, and so we're indoors now with
That's
a little
right.
chilly weather.
All right,
You
so
never know.
here's the sponsorship banner, I believe, of the Diamond Parade sponsor, Leader Bank. Let's see here if we can. Yep, I'm not quite able to see what that was, that banner there. But anyway, Leader Bank is the Diamond Parade sponsor. Again, wouldn't be able to put on this parade without the sponsors and generous donations from people in the community, as well as sponsors from different businesses in
That's
town.
correct. And Leader Bank started their bank in
They're in
East
Arlington,
Arlington, and they're proud to
Headquartered
be
here.
the only bank in town. We have a lot of great banks, but Leader is headquartered here in
Actually
town.
headquartered here in town.
And they sponsor just about every event that I can think of, Town Day, Feast of the
Right.
East, and they always seem to be there to help.
And we have just another little lull here. And we were talking about the weather, of course, but unfortunately, the weather drives people in, out or staying in. But today just happened to be the colder day.
Yes.
Sandwiched
Yep.
in between. Cold yesterday as well. See, winter just doesn't want to let go
That's
this
right.
year.
I looked out the window around 1 o'clock and I saw flurries, and I knew that it was in the low 30s, but I didn't expect
Right.
snow flurries. But
Right.
it is New England, and fortunately, people can watch at home and
Yeah.
watch it on the replay during the week,
Exactly.
and still enjoy the parade.
But we encourage you to come out if you still can, hardy New Englanders, and let's show our spirit. I remember what Brian Greeley always used to say is that anyone can be a patriot.
Right. That's true.
Anyone can be a patriot, and so that means that we can all have that patriot spirit in
That's right,
us,
right.
and respect the day. And
Sure. Yeah, nobody said it better than Brian Greeley,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
Who was our moderator before he passed. That we always enjoyed his moderating and his just practical jokes, and just a wonderful guy.
Okay, here's the Leader Bank that we were talking about. So they got a nice float this year filled with balloons and people. It's really great when you see the floats.
Right.
You just need a truck and a flatbed and put something together. We used to have more floats, I think, even before I became moved to this town.
That's true.
Some 15 years ago. But, floats are what makes a parade. It's a lot of effort, but it's fun. It's fun to do.
Right, it is. I think at one point there may have even been a competition, a float
Yes,
competition.
that's common. Yeah.
Which made it fun to try to see if you can win the grand prize.
Yes, you talked about Leader Bank being headquartered in Arlington, but they also have additional branches throughout the greater area. So we also thank them for making it possible to bring back the Aleppo Shriners that we talked about, that we'll have a bit later in the parade.
This float is also part of Leader Bank's entourage.
They've got some early Americans dressed there as early Americans, and they got some pumping music.
Yes.
Nice.
Coming up now are Grand Marshals. Grand Marshals of the Beautiful
And we do have the Grand Marshals coming up next. We talked about the Leatherneck Society. Co-founders George Barr and Ray Moreno started the organization to provide any veteran a full and proper final salute upon burial. So they are both being honored this year as Grand Marshals. And they're also being escorted by Veterans Council member Steve Sawtell.
Yes.
And you'll hear from the podium. Oh, and here's Elsie Fiore. Elsie Fiore, is she in there?
She in the truck?
I don't think so. I don't think that's her yet. I think we just have the Grand Marshals, the honorary Grand
we
Marshals
go.
later. And here is our contingent, our political representation contingent. Representative Sean Garbely. We have Bill Hayner, and of course your son, newly elected.
Eric?
Yes, to the Board of Selectmen. We have
You made it?
Marion Ryan, the district attorney. We have Paul Schlickman from the school committee. I believe we also have Jeff Thielman from the school committee, re-elected.
And of course, Joe Currow is out moderating for us. We'll see if we can spot others as they come by.
Yes. I think that's Jeff there with his children, perhaps.
Yes, dressed appropriately.
And that, I can't quite see who else that is from the school committee. Is that Kiersey Ellison Anthony, perhaps? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So, they serve our town, and they are a part of the parade.
Yes.
We just had elections a week ago? 2 weeks
Yes,
ago now?
a week ago Saturday.
Yeah.
Yep, the
And then
annual.
town meeting is coming up.
That's right. The end of the month, I think, around the last Monday of April. I'm not sure what the date is, but
Yes. So we are have a little role, but on the emceeing right now is actually Joe Marshall, who's been part of the
Okay.
Patriots Day
Yep.
Parade for many years. And here's our honorary Grand Marshal, Elsie Fiore, which you know through the years that she's been a part of the parade. A part of the town politics since 1962. She's 91 years old, everyone, and she's still active until recently.
really, she's been on multiple committees, a town meeting member for 56 years, which I believe, I'm sure, is the record. Anyone to serve on that committee, and she's quite a member of the community. Had the opportunity to work with Elsie on various issues when I was on the board in East Arlington. She's long been known as the most prominent East Arlington resident to oppose the development of the Mugar property,
right.
which is right in her backyard. And year after year, or decade after decade, she's led the fight to prevent that development, which would have an extremely adverse effect on the adjoining neighborhoods. And she deserves a lot of credit for the
91 years old, I'd say it's about time we honored her. And she's a very vocal member of the community, and I think just recently decided not to run again for town meeting.
That's correct.
So.
Yep. She was also recognized in the book written by Barbara Goodman, Legends of Local Arlington by Marion Howard and Barbara. And the quote is, "If anyone thinks Elsie Fiore is too old and too tired to fight a project proposed for a wetland, they had better think again."
Every town deserves an Elsie.
Yeah.
And she was escorted by Bob Bose of Bob Bose Real Estate.
Yes.
Sounds like we have the Greater Boston Firefighters Pipe and Drum coming up. They are sponsored by John's Landscape Service, a platinum sponsor, making this parade possible. And the Greater Boston Firefighters Pipes and Drum honor all members of the fire service and armed forces. The band is devoted to serving the Greater Boston area fire departments at line of duty, death funerals, memorial services, They were established in 2007. The majority of the band members are professional firefighters from Boston area fire departments and play the pipes and drums. Let's listen in.
Coming up now is the Arlington Committee on Tourism and Economic Development, better known as ACMi.
And I like the flags on their pipes there. So we thank them for coming.
That's Bill Lyons, the owner of the Minutemen Grill in the Chamber of Commerce. I think they're carrying the flag. I'm not sure who the other individual was.
Well, the Arlington Chamber of Commerce is dedicated to promoting and supporting members through advocacy, marketing, and outreach, and really being a place for everyone to kind of come together in the business community. And then we have here, Ted, there's a replica of the new tourist visitor center that is right by Uncle Sam Park, the new Uncle Sam Park there on Mass Ave and Mystic and Pleasant Street. And then our own Minutemen Minutemen. They, of course, on the morning of April 19, 1775, helped change the landscape of North America forever. The revolution began, and then it was in the village of Minutemen that the local Minutemen engaged in the combat with the returning column of British under the command of Lord Percy. And of course, we were talking about the big battle at Jason Russell House earlier, and Jason Russell himself losing his life that day in his own doorway.
That's right. It was
shot and bayoneted.
In the village of Minutemen, and local Minutemen engaged in the combat with the retreating column of British soldiers under the command of Lord Percy.
That's right.
And we get to see that over and over again.
And it looks like we have the Council on Aging here, the Arlington Council on Aging. And they're a municipal department, community-based social service organization with a focus on helping Arlington residents 60 years and older. Today's drivers are Carl Proctor and Ken Cefalo, I'm not sure on the pronouncing on that. Also provided transportation to today's parade's participants. And I am guessing that this is the Acton.
Yes, I would.
I've got to listen into Joe, perhaps, to hear. Yes, it is the Acton Company. It says right there on their flag. There's the Women of Acton Company, as well as the Acton Minutemen. It's made up of women and children ages 5 through 85. So they strive to bring history to life by portraying those brave patriots of the American Revolution who risked their lives and gave their lives that day. And they also participated in today's reenactment at the Jason Russell House. So thank you to them in bringing history alive.
On all that April day throughout the war, the Light Infantry Company suffered 3 of the British.
And Jack, of course, you can tell who these are.
Many gallant lives were lost fighting for the king and country.
Oh, they're the King's Own Regiment of Foot.
Yes. Let me just.
Light Infantry.
King's Own Regiment of Foot, portraying the lives of His Majesty's light infantry soldiers during the American War for Independence. The Light Infantry Company of the King's Own, or the 4th Regiment, served with distinction from the very first action of the war on Lexington Green and bravely fought and unfaltering all through the April day and throughout the war. The Light Infantry Company suffered all 3 of the British casualties at Concord's North Bridge.
Okay, so there were other casualties that day besides in Minutemen. And then we have the Touchdown Club. They've been around for years and come together.
Yes, they were established in 1944 for the purpose of the club is to promote the physical and social welfare of youth of the town, and also to promote the good fellowship and sociability among the members of this organization. Happy to be a member along with my son and many others. They do a lot for our high school students and sponsorships of many events and teams during the course of the year.
Let's listen into the Liberty Bone, sponsored by Belmont Orthodontics. Belmont Orthodontics, we want to thank them for being a platinum sponsor of this year's Patriots Day Parade and providing the wonderful entertainment of the Liberty Bones. And I can see we are being invaded by some pirates here, New England brethren of pirates. They're new to the parade this year. They're like to cause mischief and play and entertainment, and it all supporting local, national, and local organizations.
Yes, that's exciting. The pirates you see before you all have a heart of gold. They want to make a difference. This motley crew is made up of professional customers and entertainers,
Cosplayers and Renaissance enthusiasts and reenactors.
Yes. That's exciting addition.
Yeah. And we have some flag wavers here. I believe this might be Moving Forward Arlington, a group that organizes Arlington residents to promote tolerance and social justice. Coming up right here, right after the pirates.
Yes. This organization supports our elected officials and encourages participating in all elections, including town, state, and federal elections. If you want to have a voice, you have to vote, right?
Right.
And their politicians, a full-time mounted unit was reestablished and still exists today.
And this looks like the Mounted State Police.
Yes.
The Massachusetts State Police Mounted Unit. It was, been around since 1865 to the 1930s. Of course, the motor vehicle kind of replaced them. But then in 1982, with the support of the citizens of the Commonwealth and their politicians, a full-time mounted unit was reestablished and still exists today. Thank you for coming.
And they will also be here tomorrow to escort our distinguished guests that will be coming through, William Dawes and Paul Revere.
That's right. What is that, at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock tomorrow?
I believe it's at noontime.
Noontime. Okay.
Usually it is.
Yes. Then we have Arlington's Animal Control Officer, Katie Kozakowski. She is newer to the town, coming from the MSPCA. Riding with her is our amazing intern, Alex Coates. And then we have the Dirty Water Brass Band. Let's listen in. Love that dirty water.
Yes.
And they are?
So this band is a Mary Curtin production and is sponsored this year by our platinum sponsor, John's Landscape Service, so we appreciate that.
Oh my goodness, it's the Aleppo Shriners. We haven't seen them in years. Here they are, folks. Flags and banners.
Oh boy, they're doing a wheelie.
Papa Wheelie. The directors and staff officers. And it was first organized here at the Aleppo Shriners in 1886. The unit is the one that organized many stunts, which highlights the initiation of candidates. The unit meets weekly for planning programs and social times. And unit members include artists, engineers, cabinet makers, carpenters, and lab technicians, all of whom contribute their know-how to provide ceremonial entertainment, which is what they're bringing us right now.
Follow behind them will be the band that's won many honors over the years since its organization, being originally known as a band and drum corps. Now this unit is always the highlight of the parade here in Arlington. We're glad to have them.
And the brass band was first organized in 1915. great to have the Shriners back because they bring such large contingent and the different patrols and so forth.
Right.
And of course, they donate money to Shriners Hospital. It's all about the kids.
Right. They're weathering the storm in their
And their convertibles.
convertibles.
And their red fez, which they're known for.
But they wanted to
Red
put
fez
their tops
hats.
down for you guys. So let's have a big round of applause for the rag tops right here. All right.
Comes the vehicles.
Yep, this
So
is known
much
as the
unit, one of
Air
our
Patrol,
newest units
being
just come
120
out.
years old, the oldest
It's all
unit in
the way
Aleppo,
from the
the
director's
Aleppo
staff,
Shriners.
which is right at
2
Wilmington.
years after Aleppo was
These guys
chartered,
handle a
12
lot of
buildings
stuff that
started
goes on
the Air
right
Patrol,
within the temple.
and it has since
Let's
grown
hear
to
for the
60
director's
men, making up the
staff.
staff, color guard, and 2
Hi,
platoons.
guys. He wants to conserve energy.
They hold regular drills at the auditorium, and ladies' nights and outings and other social activities are enjoyed by the members. And over the years, several nobles from the unit have become potentates. I believe that's how you say that word. Potentate. All right, and then the golf carts here.
Yep.
Next in our line here, we have the Legion of Honor.
Bit of a lull in the
Yes.
parade here.
Joined Aleppo, they belong to the Marine Corps, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Coast Guard. They all joined this unit, and this Jeep represents them.
Well, it's nice to see the young children out and
This is one of our newest
families,
units.
and they're going to get the payoff in just a moment with these clowns coming up from the Aleppo Shriners.
Right.
The clowns, they were organized in 1962, and of course, all the world loves a clown, and the Aleppo Clowns are well aware of this as they receive many requests for performances, such as this one, the Patriots Day Parade.
And Varoom Varoom was here.
And the really small cars,
Very nice to see Snarky. All the guys here, nice pictures.
they come with a huge trailer too to just carry
Just
all
to
of this
bring
whole,
them,
all the contingents. Hello!
Yeah, the motor patrol is comprised of 17 members, 11 automobiles, replicas of 1901 Oldsmobiles, and a scale model of the Shriners Hospital. Motor patrol members are required to keep the antique cars in excellent condition as they participate in many parades and shrine functions.
And we have one in Cape Cod. This is our Aleppo.
This standard of excellence has allowed the motor patrol to capture many first place awards in both international and Northeast competitions.
Let's have a round of applause.
The officers of our unit are greatly involved in all international motor corp activities.
Excellent.
Quite a commitment to be members of this organization and their fine work.
They do a lot of fundraising, and they have a circus, I believe, going on as well at their auditorium in Wilmington.
I haven't seen the little motorcycles. I don't know if they made the trip yet.
Right, right.
Might be a little wet
This is the
maybe
Cape
for
Cod
that, but
Fire Brigade. You
We'll
can
see.
one of our past boat dates, Frank.
Yeah, I haven't seen any motorcycles actually in this parade, no motorcycle unit, unless we missed them from the beginning. And then the Cape Cod division, which I got to see them as well. That was a great little at the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Oh, okay.
Patriots Day Parade, St. Patrick's Day Parade. I'm interchanging the two.
Yes.
But that was down in Yarmouth on
Thank you.
Cape, and they had a contingent there. So
This is
if you
the
think weather
gentleman
is
that's
cold
in charge
now,
of Chief.
try March on the
Really?
Cape winds. But a lot of people come out for that one as well. And it's just it's the spirit just coming together as a community, and that's what we do here in Arlington with Patriots Day Parade.
must be a couple of hundred members participating. They're quite a contingent.
That's why when the Shriners aren't a part of the parade, you really feel it, because it is such a large presence.
Right.
So again, thankful to our sponsors. And here's some motorcycles that you were talking about, Jack. Here they are. They were brave enough for today.
We were wondering about that.
we saw the ragtop. Pipe band we haven't seen. Here's the cycles, organized in 1983. The Aleppo Cycle Unit is composed of 10 2007 Harley-Davidson 883 Sportster motorcycles, for those who are enthusiasts out there. They're composed also of 8 expert precision riders. See, they go around in formation there. And membership is open to all Aleppo Shriners who are either presently motorcycle riders or willing to learn to be one.
Nice job, guys. Very nice. Let's hear it for the second unit.
Oh, there's the little clown buggies.
Yes.
Or not clown, Aleppo Shriners. Buggies.
District Deputy Grand Master of the 8th Masonic District.
Let's see. Those look like be fun on the beach if you could use
Yes.
those.
I'd like to try that myself.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here.
Go-karts. I think they're calling them the go-kart unit.
And now we have the drifters.
And there's a trike unit. That's not the trike, though. Lots of units here, so bear with us as we try to find the information for you to correctly say who each unit is. But this is still all the Aleppo Shriners, and I'd say that's a trike
Yes.
of some sort with a big wheel. It looks like a motorized big wheel to me. That looks awesome.
Big wheel trike. Yeah.
I'm really glad the rain held off, or sleet, or
Yes.
whatever it may be, because it's no raining on this parade here today in Arlington.
Not at all. A little chilly, but just got to bundle up. I don't think I've seen these units
No.
before. These are pretty cool.
We don't have much info on them. Maybe they're a newer unit. Fun, though.
Let's hear it for our
I don't know if it's
drifters.
street
Thank
legal,
you,
but it
guys.
certainly looks fun.
Yes. Especially when the
See you
streets
next
close.
year.
Yeah.
You can tell these adults are having a lot of fun.
Oh, sure. And you know, we normally don't like to mention it so much because there's a little rivalry for the history, but I believe that they are also performing in the Lexington Patriots Day Parade tomorrow. So this is a big weekend for them.
Believe it or not, I think we're going to have better weather today than tomorrow.
I know. It's going to be warmer tomorrow, but rainy. And we've got a nice shot of our own crew out there. So we thank all of the crew and staff at Arlington Community Media who are running the cameras, both outside on the street, getting these wonderful shots for you. We've got volunteers, we have staff, and we have our director, Jonathan Barbado, helping out with us today and leading the charge and making sure that we're able to bring this cable cast to you. All right, so there's the really teeny
These, I believe,
trucks.
are what's called the mini haulers.
That mini hauler is.
A scale of 16 feet tractor trailers and the newest uniform parade unit. So
Yeah, they look pretty accurate.
They keep getting more and more creative with their vehicles.
Right. Well, because the Aleppos are made up of crafters and masons and so forth, so this is where they're able to shine. And this, of course, is the big truck that carries all of this here, the
Right.
tractor trailer.
It's quite an operation.
So that's it. There you have it, the Aleppo Shriners, everyone.
That was amazing.
And one more trailer to haul all of the equipment. The clown unit, they have their own trailer.
Yes,
Do they actually put the clowns, stuff them in back there too?
I believe so. I'm not sure. We'll have to investigate that.
And there's the front of Town Hall. We're coming to you from Town Hall, right in the little bit less than the halfway point, I'd say, for the parade route, or maybe the halfway point.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. So it goes all the way down to the end in East Arlington at the Walgreens there. And now we have the blue unit coming up, and we've got some jazz. New Magnolia Jazz Band, sponsored in loving memory of Joan Caterino.
The New Magnolia Jazz Band is a New Orleans-style strolling Dixieland band. The band plays a variety of music with its emphasis on traditional jazz in concert and evening settings. The players are professional musicians from the greater metropolitan area who provide a crowd-pleasing venue and are led by Arlington's very own Steve Gold.
And we are thankful to the family of Joan Caterino for sponsoring this band and supporting the parade. She was a lifelong Arlington resident and a town librarian who passed away in 2014 and has left a lasting legacy to the town as supporter of this celebration.
Here comes some music.
What's a parade without music?
The Arlington Lodge of Elks with the Arlington Elks baseball team marching today.
Not quite sure who we have here. Let's see if we can read that banner.
Marching today is leading night Donald Mansfield.
I think that was the lodge.
Leading night
The Arlington Elks.
Joanne
Yes.
Amber
Yep.
Dempsey, Inner Guard Rick Jones.
Again, the Arlington
baseball
Elks is
team.
another organization that sponsors many events and youth teams
That's right.
throughout the year. That's greatly appreciated.
And now let's give it up
And
for
then we have the Girl Scouts. We're always glad to have the
Arlington
Arlington Girl Scouts participate in the Patriots Day Parade. Currently 474 registered Arlington Girl Scouts and 257 registered adults. I'm one of them, and my daughter is also in the Girl Scouts, not marching today, but this year our town sold a total of 35,474 boxes of cookies and 35 troops. And this year's top 4 sellers, Sophie Mowbray, Cadet Troop, and Abigail Becker, Cadet Troop, and Nora Chan from a Brownie Troop, and Nora Valerino from a Junior Troop. So let's hear it for all of the Girl Scouts.
Yes.
Of course, selling those cookies just helps them go and do the various activities to be
Nora Valerino, Junior
I
Troop.
was
Leaders
happy to help out with that.
Let's hear it
eating
for all the Arlington Girl Scouts.
Couple of boxes
Eating
of
some
Girl
of those
Scout
boxes.
cookies. My 2 daughters long ago participated in the
Now coming
programs.
up
They're
Yes.
great.
East Coast Chip Lock.
Okay, so chip keys. Those are those keys that, the high-tech keys. If you ever lose your key and you need a new one, yeah, East Coast chip keys, they'll make one for you.
Yes, and they're not cheap.
No, they aren't.
So-
and not specific to East Coast. It's just
Yes.
in general that
Yes,
those keys
we're-
are not. People find out they're $200. Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
Certainly glad they're here, but
they're fast and reliable,
try not
professional,
to lose your key.
and they'll help you unlock your door too if you are ever in a jam.
Yes. Here's Bose Real Estate, one of our sponsors, banner.
And we have the Waltham American Legion Marching Band from Waltham. They're a regular here at the Patriots Day Parade. And we thank Bose Real Estate for sponsoring them. Let's listen.
This is a well-honored band that performs nationally and internationally for audiences who enjoy military patriotic service marches.
All right, here come the champs. Arlington Hockey Club, the girls of the Arlington Hockey Club, under 10 state champs led by head coach Chris Partridge. And we also have the under 14 girls state champs. We are lucky enough, of course, amazing that we have 2 state champions
Yes.
in hockey for girls hockey this year. Congrats to both teams.
And I see the under 14 champions were led by head coach Gar Talanian,
That's right.
a former Arlington High School player, I should say, a fine one.
Girls won a
Right.
perfect 7-0, including 3-2 triple overtime win in their finals over Winter. Congrats to a great season, girls. You all rock.
kudos to them. The under 10 and the under 14 girls state champions, both
That's
right here in
exciting.
Arlington.
Yes.
The Arlington Public Schools green teams engage students, teachers, parents, and the whole school community in activities that promote.
All right, and then coming up with the Arlington Schools Public Schools green teams, and that's fairly new. It's teachers, parents, students working together to really promote environmental sustainability. They have things like the recycling textile challenge, and having compost in some of the schools now. So it's really volunteers and parents and so forth, and then a new person who is also in charge of it for the town, coordinating it as well.
The race is held the first Sunday in June on Easton Ave by Robbins Farm.
So now we have the Arlington Soapbox Derby, it looks like. Coming up behind those vehicles, we think.
Celebrating its 11th year. I still think of it as being new, but it's actually 11 years in town now. And it's for girls and boys ages 7 to 20. The Arlington Soapbox Derby's annual race is always the first Saturday in June on Eastern Ave by Robbins Farm. So this year, that'll be June 2nd.
Winners of the race in 3 divisions will go to the World Championships in Acton, Ohio, which is kind of exciting. If anyone would like to participate, find them on the web. But hurry, they're handing out cars now to start preparing for this year's big race.
I hear a band coming by, and this is the Tony Barry band that I was telling you about earlier, with the 96-year-old Tony Barry, who still attends this parade, at least did last year. I had the opportunity to talk to him. So let's listen to the parade that he started, the band he started.
Community Arts Center and a cornerstone for the creative community in Arlington. A dynamic mix of classes, workshops, exhibits.
And then we have representatives from the Arlington Center for the Arts. And of course, the Arlington Center for the Arts, because the Gibbs School needed to be reused for 6th graders, they are building anew in the old Central School, the Senior Center. And so here they are. They have a mix of classes from
An Arlington's
youth
own
all the way
baseball
to
program,
adults.
marching part of Arlington Cal Ripken. Youth baseball offers programs for boys and girls ages 4 through 12, from t-ball all the way up to baseball. Now we'll let the band play the Roma band musicians.
This might be the Roma band. I can't quite hear what Jim Morris is calling out there, but it's certainly a band.
Yes.
Patriotic music. Let's
Very
listen.
good.
Now, the Roma Band, if that indeed was the Roma Band, it continues a long-standing tradition providing crowd-pleasing Italian, patriotic, and popular sacred melodies since the band's inception in the North End of Boston in 1915. So thank you for coming to our parade. It's sponsored by Belmont Orthodontics. Looks like we have Food Link coming up. They're fairly new in town and helping to deliver food as a nonprofit.
Now we're happy to say hello to
Basically
Food
any
Link,
food
an Arlington-based
that
nonprofit that serves Arlington
they kind
and the
of
surrounding
rescue
community.
from
Food
going
Link
into
provides over
being thrown out.
200,000
That's still
pounds of
good,
high-quality
and
fresh fruit,
7 days a week
meat, dairy,
from
bread, and
working
prepared
with
foods to Arlington
120
residents,
volunteers,
benefiting Arlington
Food Link
residents.
volunteers, making it possible to help deliver food to food banks in Arlington and the surrounding community.
Great organization.
All right, from Stafford, Virginia, the Mountain View High School Marching Band.
Arlington High School.
Well, I
Marching
certainly
Band.
heard that from Joe out there on Mass Ave, the Arlington High School Marching Band coming up.
Which is, we're glad that he was able to enlighten us, because we're
Yeah, we
we're
don't have
improvise-
that in our notes here. Oh, this is not Arlington. That's why, because it's Mountain View High School
okay.
from Virginia, I believe. see if we can find that note. There we are, Stafford, Virginia.
Okay.
And they are the Mountain View School Band program. Is an 11-time Virginia Honor Band, regularly earning top ratings. And they're really excited to be here for this year's Patriots Day celebration. They travel around each spring, and this year, here in Arlington. Take a look and listen.
It
Really is impressive, and you know, we are right out in front of Town Hall ourselves, you, Jack and I, and it's much more impressive in person. They also had the color guard next to them there as well with their flags.
Yes, that's a very impressive band. We have the opportunity to peek a little bit here if we look out the window, but it's very impressive.
Yep, the
That's
marching band from Mountain View High School in Stafford, Virginia. Thanks for coming up.
The real deal.
They're cold. Not used to this weather here, but it'd be great to have a marching band locally like that. But we thank our Stafford and Virginia Mountain View High School for coming up for this. That must be their traveling bus.
Yes.
I would suspect. Or two buses. That was a rather large band. But you know, that reminded me of something out of the Macy's Day Parade.
Really, that was quite a treat. That was the real deal. Very large band.
Always at the conclusion of the Patriots Day Parade is the DPW cleanup crew. Thank you to the Department of Public Works for keeping Arlington safe and clean.
Looks like we have
Your participation to make the parade a success
that
is
was
appreciated.
the end
We
because
also
we have
want to give you
DPW
a
and that
round
always
of applause for
signifies
the
the end
hard
because
work
our
you did
Department
all
of Public
winter.
Works cleaned up after the parade.
Yes.
And we
yes,
thank them for
appreciate
that. So thank you for this joining us, this Arlington Patriots Day Parade 2018 through Arlington Community Media. We've been here. I'm Brenda Mahoney along with Jack Hurd at Town Hall, bringing you Arlington Patriots Day Parade 2018.
Yes, we appreciate the opportunity to be here with you, Brenda, and hope the audience understands our improvising on the order of the parade. We
That's
did
right.
the best we could, and I think we
And not being outside this year
Not
to see
being
exactly.
outside
But we also thank our staff and crew for
Yes.
giving us the pictures and allowing us to show this to you at home. And you'll also be able to see it in the next coming weeks as we play it on our channel.
Yes.
And you can always find it online at ACMi.tv. All right. Well,
thank you.
that concludes our Patriots Day Parade.
Good work, light infantry.
Light infantry falling!
Get down with that. On the other side, where we belong. Follow me.
Light infantry, open your hands! Secure your power!
Look. Stand. Look. Shut. Hey. Hey.
Shut. Hey!
Front, quick, march! To the right, right! Quick, march!
Get when you mess with the whole team.